Still on the issues around Nasarawa State, of course, we have Frank Tietie, an Arise News analyst, and Sumner Sambo, Arise News director. Thank you, both of you, gentlemen. Mr. Frank Tietie, you are the lawyer. Help us understand, first of, where the law lies as far as the issue that we're hearing coming from the State Assembly in Nasarawa State, where 13 members elect have suspended indefinitely 11 members elect.
Well, there's a growing interest by the executive in controlling the outcome of the process of determining the leadership of houses of assembly across the country. And we even see that at the National Assembly. The proper thing to be done is that the clerk of the National Assembly is expected to, after the proclamation by the governor, pursuant to Section 105 of the Constitution, the clerk is supposed to conduct a sort of a small election to determine who is Speaker and Deputy Speaker, and thereafter the House takes a life of its own. The Speaker then in turn swears in the members elect who now become the members of the State House of Assembly. In this case, what matters most are two things: the personality of the clerk, who determines who becomes the Speaker and Deputy Speaker, and the venue for which the business of the first session of the House of Assembly is conducted. That particular venue matters a lot. We have Supreme Court decisions to that effect. The case of Rashidi Ladoja, particularly Nakuju and Adeleke, comes to mind, where the House of Assembly of your state at that time met at one D. Rovans Hotel in Ibadan and purportedly impeached the governor. The Supreme Court was very harsh and described them as reckless people and set aside that particular act of the State House of Assembly and said that all the business of the House of Assembly must be conducted in the designated place for the business of the House of Assembly, and that is the House of Assembly complex in the state capital. So that is a problem. In the case of Nasarawa State now, we find a situation where a proclamation was indeed issued by the governor. The clerk conducted a process that gave an outcome of a speaker, but that did not happen in the designated place of the usual place of business of the State House of Assembly. So there is a real problem in Nasarawa State as we speak with regards to the leadership of the State House of Assembly.
Okay, before we get to Sumner, yet again, Barrister Tietie, help us to understand the legality of the members elect in the first place who were not yet inaugurated, suspending other members elect.
Well, it depends on, first, where the authority flows from. The authority flows first from the proclamation of the governor, even though there is a Supreme Court decision in Balongu versus the governor, and the governor of Anambra State, 2009 decision, which where three governors in Anambra State actually issued proclamations of setting off the State House of Assembly. We're talking about Dr. Chris Ngige, Peter Obi, and Dr. Andiuba. The Supreme Court decided that, look, it's not important, and that is not a condition precedent. It is not mandatory for a governor to issue proclamation before the Assembly will actually have its first session. So in that case, does it mean that the authority is flowing from the Ogazi-led House of Assembly? If it does, then they do have the power to suspend, not necessarily to suspend, because those persons have not yet become members of the House of Assembly, because they haven't they've not taken the oath before the clerk of the House of Assembly. So they cannot suspend. But if persons who are members elect of the State House of Assembly have not yet taken that oath, they are actually not members. They cannot actually exercise the function as representatives of the people in the State House of Assembly.
Right. Let's bring in Sumner here. Sumner, weigh in on this. It seems, if you listened to the chat with the governor of Nasarawa State there, the basis of his support for the speaker who wants to come back, Balarabe, is that he's had a smooth, easy relationship with him over time, and he insists on having the same smoothness. But it raises the question of, legislature, executive, judiciary, working relationship. How close, or otherwise, should it really be, and what it portends for Nigeria's democracy, the tendency for the executive to want to interfere in legislative affairs?
Thank you, Ngozi. Now, the major problem that we can see in this challenges ongoing at the Nasarawa State House of Assembly is the failure to follow, the rules. The rules, the laws are all there, including guidelines for all of this, and we are seeing people refusing to follow legislative processes. The acting clerk of the Nasarawa State House of Assembly, Ibrahim Musa, needs to be arrested by the police at the moment because he knows that the governor's proclamation letter said that the place where that proclamation letter was to be read will be in the chambers of the State House of Assembly. So at what point did he now decide on his own to go to the Ministry of Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs to go and conduct a proclamation of this State House of Assembly in a different building from the one that is known with, and as a result of that, causing confusion everywhere? Because if he had followed the governor's own letter, which he sent to the State House of Assembly clerk, it would have resolved all these issues. And now we have someone who was sworn in inside the chamber, and that is there. The challenge that we have with this development is that, people are promoting undemocratic processes that even when they go to court, it will be very difficult for them to be able to challenge that. I'll quickly take you back to what happened in Edo State, not quite long, where about 14 members refused to be sworn in. And what happened was that their seats were declared invalid, if I may use that word, by the Speaker of the State House of Assembly. And as a result of that, those members-elect who refused to show themselves to be inaugurated, they lost their seats. Because when they went to the court, it was very clear that for a long period of time, these politicians took advantage of the situation because they refused to present themselves to be inaugurated inside the State House of Assembly. That caused a lot of problems. And then the constituents that elected them suffered for it. So these other 11 persons that have refused to present themselves in the State House of Assembly building, it's going to be a very difficult situation for them, because the governor's proclamation letter stated clearly that the 24 members of the State Assembly are to be inaugurated at the State Assembly complex. So if we are to go through the Edo formula, and then with what has happened now, we may likely see a situation whereby the minority lawmakers that have now become the sort of majority inside the State House of Assembly will be determining the laws of the state. And this is not what I think is constitutionally right to be done, because they should have been learning from that lesson that happened in Edo State, but unfortunately see where we are. And these undemocratic practices will continue to rub off on the constituents that elected these people to go and represent them. And it's a very sad development for us.
Thank you, Sumner. Now, let's get back to Barrister Tietie.
Very quickly.
As we try to wrap this up, it's disturbing that lawmakers, we should be the custodian of laws and regulations and the right orders of doing things, are the very ones who are breaking the law. Now, what does that portend for our democracy?
I think we shouldn't be too quick to accuse the lawmakers. We're talking about powerful chief executives. Sumner made reference to Edo State. We had an Obaseki there who was bent on interfering and determining those who should come out as the leaders of the State House of Assembly. So the roof of the House of Assembly was removed, and then so that they would not sit there. In this case, we just heard the governor.
So the influence of the chief executive.
We just heard the governor saying that, giving a very different twist to it, that because of security situation, they actually went to sit at the old House of Assembly complex, which actually meant that they sat at the proper venue. So all of these will point to the fact that it is the governors that are actually behind all of this. They want to control the State House of Assembly for very obvious reasons, and that's not too good for democracy itself. We're looking at the real problem of democracy. The real problem of democracy, as we see now, is using the veneer of law law and the institutions of democracy to actually act in dictatorial terms, as we see the governor of Edo State did by that manner. And so long as he wasn't punished for it, the president at that time didn't take any strong action. The Attorney General didn't take any strong position. We're not seeing a repeat. So we're expecting this time around that the president should come on strong. Unfortunately, we don't have yet to have an Attorney General, and then let the right thing be done. I think it is wrong, absolutely wrong, but this Nasarawa own is a different twist from the Edo State, because we see a governor that has adroitly, deftly used the clerk to now have his way.
Well, from all indications, standards have been set already, so that's what you see. We'll have to leave it there, gentlemen. Frank Tietie, Arise analyst, thank you very much for joining us. As always, Sumner, Sambo, thank you very much.